Welcome back to Good Day State Line. We love a good brunch, and Easter is the perfect time to sit down with your friends and family and enjoy some delicious food and wine. But what wine goes best with which brunch dishes? That's what we're finding out this morning with one of the top sommeliers in the entire country, Theo Rutherford from Deutsche Family Wine and Spirits. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, I would say I'm a little jealous, but I actually do have much of the alcohol in front of me that you have in front of you. I have no food, but I'm going to have a glass of the Josh Cellars Prosecco Rosé. I'll be sipping on this, and you're going to fill us in on why cocktails and wine are actually so important for spring brunches.
Perfect. So while you sit back and enjoy that, for this, honestly, where food and wine pairing is concerned, what it does is it really helps elevate those ingredients that you're using. So especially as farmers markets are opening up, berries are coming in season, some of those fresh herbs are coming in season, you want to be able to taste them. You don't want something that's going to hide those things. So the food and wine pairing or cocktail pairings, they're really going to help elevate those flavors. They're going to help make you taste them even more and really kind of help you have an even more fun brunch than you might normally.
Well, I love a fun brunch. So where should we start, though? Should we start with the food, start with the drink? Where do we start when we create our brunch menu?
Great question. So you can start either way, but what I usually like to tell people to do is start with the food first. And the reason behind that is you know what flavors you're going to be working with. So especially if you go to a farmer's market and that day there are ramps or certain things that are fresh, or you go to a bakery and all of a sudden you smell something like a fresh baked donut or a cinnamon roll, something that really sparks your interest, then you know what flavors you're working with. You can kind of work your way back from there. The great news is that most wines actually have a cheat sheet for you. If you turn the label around, most of them will have a tasting note on the back of that label. And what that tells you is what it's supposed to taste like. So if you have certain ingredients and it reads like the back of a wine label, then you kind of know that your pairing is going to work all right.
Okay, so you have the purpliest donuts on earth. Tell me what those are, and then what are you going to pair that with?
So those are actually blueberry glazed donuts. I know that the violet, you're turning violet, it would look a little like Willy Wonka. But with that, what you're getting is a great mimosa. And the reason that I do donuts or muffins or something sweet with a mimosa is that the citrus in that mimosa is actually going to cut some of the sweetness there. So you're able to, again, taste those ingredients like the berries that you might want to. For me, since you're drinking that Josh Prosecco Rosé, I like using that in a mimosa, especially with grapefruit juice. So a little bit of a twist on the classic. Regular Josh Prosecco with orange juice is lovely as well, but that Rosé Prosecco just gives you some of those cool berry flavors with that acidity and really highlights those things.
Well, I'll definitely save some of this and add some grapefruit juice later. What about the other courses you have? What about a main course? What should we make and what should we pair it with?
Absolutely. So for main courses, starting with eggs, if you like eggs for brunch, which I do, the really easy way, especially if you're hosting, make a frittata. What a frittata can do is it allows you to take some of those fresh ingredients from a farmer's market. You can kind of throw anything into it, put that in the oven, and you look like Gordon Ramsay when it comes out. You're kind of awesome there. So you do that, and you pair that with the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc from Layer Cake. What that does is some of the richness from that frittata, the acidity cuts through that. It really highlights some of the fresh herbs and is awesome there. Now, if you don't feel like cooking, which is perfectly fine, taking something like a smoked salmon platter from your local bagel shop, especially if you have a really good one near you, that smoked salmon works really well with rosé, and especially as it's getting hotter, there is nothing better than a nice chilled glass of rosé, and it pairs perfectly with smoked salmon. But if you want to go even further outside the box and you want to start getting your cocktail game on, especially earlier in the day, then using something like Redemption Rye in a whiskey cocktail also gives you a really good excuse to put pork product on pretty much anything. So you can take bacon, you can put it in that frittata, you can put it on a sandwich like a Monte Cristo, and it gives you the excuse to drink whiskey for brunch, which is kind of fun.
I didn't know pork and whiskey were a duo. What else is in that cocktail besides the whiskey?
So for this one specifically, I actually used the same thing for my mimosa setup. So I used a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of grapefruit juice in there, a touch of grenadine for color and sweetness, but you can take the grenadine out and add something like agave or honey or just a regular simple syrup to add just a little bit of that sweetness to it. And then I topped it with a bitter lemon soda. You can use any sort of flavored bubbly water you want. You can use regular soda. You can kind of do anything there to really just give it a little bit of levity and make it so that you can drink 2 or 3 of these versus a whiskey neat, which yeah, only one and done for the most part.
No, yeah, you want a couple drinks at brunch. Okay, I have 3 quick questions for you. I need you to pronounce the rosé label because I can't do that. And also, how much should we be spending on our brunch drinks?
Sure. So the rosé that I have is Fleur de Paris. It means wildflowers in French. And then for the brunch cocktails in front of you, everything here is less than $30. Okay. And I really like that price point because it allows me to spend a little bit more on the fresher ingredients that I might want to cook with, or I can splurge a little bit on some donuts or things along those lines. So that less than 30 bucks can get you out in a pretty good way and make you look like you know what you're doing.
I love that. Plus, when you add juice to the wine, you know, it does stretch a little more, a couple more glasses out of that. Where can we go to get some more information from you? Because I know you have tons more to share with all of us.
So for the Josh wines, you can go to joshcellars.com. It has the Proseccos and then all of the varietals that they make, so you can have a little bit of fun there. All the other brands that I mentioned are available locally, so you can go to your local retailer, ask for them by name. They should be able to help you out there and should be able to help elevate your lovely brunch menu.
You can get these cocktail recipes on our Facebook page if you weren't writing them down while he was giving them to us. When we come back, we are talking about keeping your kids active with martial arts, and we're naming our next fan of the week. We'll be right back after today's forecast.